Now, if you just turning on your radio for the first time, you might not be aware that Everton have sacked Frank Lampard. Let's speak to someone that knows the clubs very well. We had 2 stints there, nearly 10 years in total, and nearly 200 games of thereabouts. A proper superstar, former Toffee, Alan Stubbs joins us. Stubbsy, good afternoon.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Benty. You okay?
I'm good. Stubbsy, just quickly off the bat, you know when you played with David Unsworth?
Left back.
Thank you. Stubbsy played for about 10 years. Left back. There
Well, hold on. We were talking about this earlier.
What does Kev know? It's about Stubbs.
Kevin Campbell said centre half.
No, left back. I knew it.
That's all we've got time for, Stubbsy. Thanks so much for coming on.
Cheers, lad. Thanks. Pleasure.
Hold on, let me just put that down. First answer wrong. Let's say get on with more Everton. Were you surprised? That Frank Lampard got sacked when he did so soon after that vote of confidence last week from Fayed and Sheary?
No, because I think one of the reasons why, Andy, is that we've heard from the owner on a number of occasions, and you can never trust what he's saying. I've got to be really honest. I feel for Frank because I think he's come into a really difficult job. I think he's had to inherit a load of problems that are going on from previous managers and going on behind the scenes. But ultimately, when you actually analyse Frank this season, his record's not been good.
You said, Stubbsy, about the board and the owner.
Yeah.
What exactly is it that the fans are not happy with when it comes to the Everton board? Because a lot of fans we've had come on today, they're almost disappointed that Frank's been sacked, but they said that he was kind of left in no position because of what the board's done.
Yeah, I think the one thing that the fans had with Frank is that they had someone who they could relate to. And we've had managers that the owners appointed that there's been no connection to them whatsoever. And I think Frank got the club, and you might know Frank personally, but I think he speaks very well. In terms of speaking about the club, he always related to the fans, and he made the fans feel part of what he was trying to do. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the tools to be able to do what he did, and also, he wasn't able to get a tune out of this group of players. The owner has just been a basket case. He's a very wealthy man, but I think he answers to nobody. And I think when you look at our recruitment policy, you can't call it a recruitment policy because it's just been completely ad hoc. I like that player, I'll have him. I think he's gone over the head of the directors of football. He's not let them do their job, and he's brought people in. And I don't know, because he's not a football man. So he's listening to someone, whether it's agents or other people. And this is why Everton find himself in a mess. I look at Brighton, and you look at Brentford, not spent fortunes, but have got a policy. They've got a structure. Everton haven't got one. And that's the difference. It's okay having money. It's what you do with it. I know you've mentioned this before, and we've spent over 500 million, and we are worse than before the penny was spent.
Stubbsy, let me ask you. I hear what you're saying, right? I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I've never played at your level, right? Of course. And you have, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm always under the impression that it's a results business. And you look at Everton, they've played 20 games this season, they've won only 3. And I think when a club do well, you mentioned, of course, Brentford. You mentioned there was another one you mentioned. Who was the other side you mentioned? Brighton. When a manager does well, we pat them on the back, okay? Yeah. And you look at the difference that Unai Emery has made since he's come in and Steven Gerrard left. They're up to now 11th in the league. How much blame do you, if any, might be none, how much blame do you put to Frank Lampard for where Everton currently lie at the moment?
Well, Frank has to take the blame, because no matter how you look at this group of players, they shouldn't be where they are. I think there's worse teams than this group of players. So, the one thing that Frank, he hasn't got, I don't think, the most out of these players. I look at the performance on Saturday in the West Ham game, and Everton were tepid. They didn't lay a glove on West Ham. That's not Frank Lampard. That's the players as well. The players have to take responsibility. We for 45 minutes I watched on Saturday, I can't remember us actually getting into West Ham's 18-yard box. We passed it with no direction. We didn't have. I don't think the players are they're completely devoid of confidence, which they are. But I don't know what the game plan was. You know, whether we get it forward early and play off second balls, whether we try and build up from the back and play through the third, which we haven't got the players to do that. You know, so we as Everton, I look at the team and they haven't got a DNA. You don't know what Everton are trying to do, and that obviously comes from the manager. But Frank, I feel sorry for Frank, and I feel sorry for any manager, but the players have got to take one good look at themselves, because, you know, they're part of the reason. They're not the reason, but they are part of it.
Do you know what you said there, Stubbs? And you're right about Frank, obviously, the identity of the team. But then, in your opinion, who do you want to see coming next, and who do you think would be the right man for the job to kind of stabilise the club?
Well, I think it's just got to be a short term. I think first and foremost, we've got to try and bring someone in who's going to try and keep Everton in the Premier League, which is a monumental job. As we speak right now, this team is going down. There's no doubt about that. Mm. So we have to bring someone in who potentially might give them a kiss of life to try and get them. We've won 3 in 14 games. We're going to have to win. We're going to have to win at least 7. So if you're looking at the stats and the facts, you know, we've only won 3 in 14. How are we going to win 7 in 19?
Yeah, true. Listen, Stubbsy, thanks so much for coming on. Just quickly before I let you go, Benty asked you a question earlier on about David Unsworth, saying centre half or fullback, and you said fullback.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself with another question. All right?
Go on.
David Unsworth, was he centre half or fullback?
Sweeper.
I'll give you half a point. I'll give you. Stubbsy, listen, I know you're a busy boy, certainly at times like this.
Cheers.
Really appreciate your time.
Cheers,
on Drive
Stubbsy.
on talkSPORT.
Pleasure, guys.
Thanks, man.
Good luck.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.